guys, 25 plus tips and tricks for your iPhone 11, your new and shiny iPhone 11, so you can get acquainted with your smartphone right away. So let's get started immediately. Now, the very first thing I want to talk about is the basic navigation tactics for your iPhone in case you're brand new to this scene. So basically, if you launch an application, all right, and if you want to go back home, all you do is swipe from bottom to top just like that, and you go right back onto your home screen. And then again, if you're back inside an application, if you want to switch over to a different application that you were already running in the background, all you do is swipe from bottom to top, let go, and it's going to give you the card view of all the applications that were running in the background. And when you want to go into a particular application, you just tap on it and it's going to launch that application. Now, that's one way to switch between applications. Another way to switch between applications is you can see a black bar at the bottom right over here. So basically you can just press on that bar and swipe over to go to the next application. So if I want to go to this settings over here, I can go like that. If I go one more time, it's going to go to my weather application. And again, if I swipe over and over, I can just switch between applications, as opposed to this technique over here that actually gives you a preview of all the applications. And once I'm in this view right over here, what I can do is I can just swipe a card up and kill that application in the background. All right, so those are the basics of navigation. The next thing I want to talk about has to do with your control center, which actually hides on the top right over here. So if you pull it down from here, it brings down the control center. If you pull in the middle over here, it's going to bring down your notifications. All right, so if you want the control center, you pull it down right over here. Now with the control center, you have the ability to touch any one of these buttons and they're going to expand further to give you even more options. So I can press on the music square right over here, and it's going to expand and give me even more options, which is fantastic. I can click on this one, it's going to expand, that's the volume. So I can reduce and increase the volume from here for my iPhone. I can click on this one, and that's going to expand the brightness options. I can increase and decrease the brightness from here as well. And I can also toggle various settings that are found in my display settings. Now with iOS 13 that is running on these latest smartphones, you are able to expand individual settings right over here. So with the Wi-Fi, I can click on Wi-Fi. It's going to expand that Wi-Fi, give me some details, show me what I'm connected to. And also, if I want to go to the full settings, I can tap on Wi-Fi settings, and that's going to take me to the full Wi-Fi settings for my smartphone. And you can do that again with all these toggles here, including the Bluetooth option. Go to the options right from here. If you tap anywhere outside of the toggle, it takes you back. Boom, goes back, all right? And again, here's the flashlight. You can increase the brightness of the flashlight if you please. Then let's turn that off. But you can do this with all these toggles. The control center is also fully customizable, which I'm going to be talking about in a little bit. Before that, let's talk about the brand new dark mode on the iPhone 11 and the iPhone 11 Pro Max. So if you go to your settings, all right, if you go to the main settings, and if you go into the display and brightness on the top, you'll see that you have a light mode and a dark mode. So this is the light mode. You have white background. If you go to your usual apps, you're going to see everything's going to be white and bright. All right. Even if I go to my calendar, it's going to be white and bright. If I go into my messages, it's going to be white and bright. Now, when you go to the settings and you switch over to the dark mode, you are getting a system-wide dark mode. So when I go back to these applications, they also come with their own version of dark mode. So I got black background over here. I got black background on my text messages. If I go to my calendar application, you get a black background, okay? So that's new and that's fantastic. Let's go back here. I'm gonna show you one more thing with the light and dark mode. You can always go here to your control center, press and hold on this brightness slider, and toggle on and off the dark mode right from here, okay? By the way, take a look at the wallpaper in the background. And now take a look at it after I turn on the dark mode. So when I turn on the dark mode, the background wallpaper actually changes character. Now those are a set of new wallpapers that is found on your iOS device. If you go to the settings, and again, if you go to the main screen and then go to the wallpaper and tap on choose a new wallpaper and then tap on stills, what happens is you have these 4 new wallpapers that have a sign at the bottom right over here. These wallpapers actually change when you enable the dark mode. So it goes from a whiter version to a darker version in line with the dark mode, just something you want to be aware of. The next thing I want to talk about has to do with your notifications. So let's pull that down from this side over here. So basically you can interact with every single notification from here. So if you see any notification, you can swipe over and you get 3 options. First one, you can click on view. That's going to show you the notification. It's going to expand and show. Then you can go further with these options. The next option is you can swipe over and you can clear a group of notification or a single notification. Now if I tap on this one, it's going to expand that group. And if I go over here just like that, I can clear that notification. Or if it's in group view and I want to get rid of the entire group, I can swipe over and clear the entire group. And finally, if I swipe over, I can click on manage notifications, and from here, for the particular app that I'm working with, in this case the news application or the app store, I can swipe over, tap on manage, and from here I can choose to deliver this notification quietly if it's bothering me, or I can simply turn off the notification. If I want even more control over how I get notified for that particular application, I can click on settings and they'll take me inside and I can do extra modifications right inside here. Okay, so again, every single app is on the top. It says tips application, news application, app store. When you do this manage over here, it's for that particular application that you are making a change. Alrighty, so that's a nice way to keep track of these things. And of course, Siri is obviously a big part of using your iPhone. So if you want to access Siri without having to say, hey Siri, all you do is simply press and hold the power button on the side over here, and that's going to activate Siri. Now in my case, I have it disabled, but in your case, it's going to pop right up and you're going to be able to talk right into it and ask questions of Siri. Now, if you want to turn off your phone, you can't just press and hold the power button because that is bringing up Siri. So you press and hold, volume down, and power at the same time. Okay? Press and hold, boom, you get the option. You slide to power off your phone if you so desire, or you can simply cancel. And just in case you want to take a screenshot of your phone, the combination is going to be power button and volume up at the same time, but you don't press and hold, you just press and let go. Okay, so let me show you. Power up, volume, quick press together, boom, takes a screenshot, puts it down here. You tap on that and you can actually modify this. You can resize everything as you please if you want to. You can choose a pen and write on the actual picture if you want to take some notes. All right, you don't have a ruler here you can use to draw with precision if you have to, as you can see. Once you're done with your screenshot, you click on this button or you just say done. If you click over here, you can share this with anybody that you want from here, from messages, mail, reminders, whatever. If you just want to save it, you click done. If you don't want to save it, you click delete, it's gone. So that's actually how to save a screenshot on your iPhone. Now, one more thing that's very important is, in addition to taking a screenshot, you can also record your screen as a video. So to access the screen recorder, it's usually supposed to be right here. So it's right here, right over here. If you don't see that, you go to settings, all right? You go to the main screen, then you scroll down and go to Control Center, and you click on Customize Controls. And you want to make sure the screen recording option is on the top under Include instead of More Control. So if I remove this, it goes to the More Control section. It's not here anymore, as you can see. But if I were to go up here and tap on screen recording, click on that plus, now it's right there and it's right over here. Again, I can press and hold to expand the options. It's letting me know I can click on start recording. I can turn on and off the microphone before I start the record. So let's keep the microphone off, click on start recording. So it's going to give me a countdown, 3, 2, 1. And the screen is being recorded right now. So anything I do on the screen is going to be recorded, all right? When you're done recording your screen, maybe you want to create a tutorial or show something to a friend, on the top over here, you see a red blinking light. You click on that, and it's going to ask you, do you want to stop the screen recording? You click stop, and then the screen recording video gets saved into your photos album. So if I go into my photos, my most recent thing over here is the actual video that I made. So I can even watch what I just recorded, and you guys can see it as well. So that's my photos album where the recording was saved. Fantastic. The next thing that's very important is if you go into your camera and try to record a video, make sure that you're using the correct resolution. You cannot modify the video resolution from the camera application. You have to go to the settings, all right? Go to the main settings. Scroll down till you find the camera application. It's right over here. You tap on that, and from here what you can do is you go into record video option, and you can choose which resolution and frame rate you want to record in. You probably hear 4K all the time, so you do 4K at 60 frames per second, at 30, 24, or you can pick these options right here. So make sure you have these chosen properly before you record a video from your camera app. And also be aware that the higher the resolution, for example 4K, is going to take more space on your iPhone. So the lower you go, it's going to take less space. So you can read these instructions at the bottom right over here. Okay, so make sure you're aware of that as well. The next thing has to do with your security. So let's go into settings and let's go into Face ID and passcode and modify some very important settings. Let me dump in my password here. And the first thing you want to do, you want to go down over here, something very important. That's right over here. Now all these things are accessible in the lock screen even though I have security enabled. So if my phone was turned off and if somebody turned it on, they can access my control panel and make modifications to my phone right from the screen. Even though the phone is actually locked, they can't access the phone. So that's not good. So what you want to do is you want to go to the settings, go to Face ID, and scroll down and make sure all these things are not allowed to be accessible in your lock screen. So I can disable all these for maximum security. So allow access when locked, no, 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 all the way down to the bottom over here. Okay, so that's how you remain secure with the lock screen. Now let's go up a little bit real quick. Make sure these two options are enabled. These are very important. Basically, require attention for Face ID means that the Face ID system that's on the top over here is able to realize that you're looking at it before it unlocks the phone. It has to understand that you're looking at it with your eyes to unlock the phone. So that's what it means. Are you giving it your attention? The reason is because if you're asleep and your eyes are closed, nobody can then grab the phone, put it to your face, and unlock the phone while you're asleep. So that's a very smart feature. Make sure this is enabled so the phone only unlocks when you're actually looking at the Face ID system over here. And then on the top over here, what you want to do is you want to make sure all these are enabled so you can use your Face ID unlock to unlock your phone, to make purchases, to make payments using Apple Pay, and even to fill passwords automatically. And you can also click on other apps here. And if you have any app that you're using Face ID for, you can enable or disable it right here. So it's good to be aware of what's happening with your phone. Next thing that's very important has to do with your Notes application. So if I go to my Notes application right over here, as you can see, I have a note here that says this note is locked. So you can do this as well. Let's go back here. Let me create a brand new note by tapping this button and just say secure note. And you can put anything you want here. You can put passwords, some secret note or whatever. Once you're done making the note, you tap on this button and then you scroll down and you click on lock a note, boom. And that note is now locked after you put in your password. If you do this for the first time, it's going to ask you to pick a unique passcode for the Notes application. Mine is 0000, so I'm going to click OK. And as you can see, now the lock has been added. On the top, I just click the lock button and that note is now locked. I can click it by putting in my password and I can view it, all right, as you can see. So that's great if you want secure notes. Now, every time you go inside, you want to make sure you lock it just like that before you exit. And if you go to settings and if you scroll down to the Notes option over here, you can change that password if you want. And if you want, you can use your Face ID to unlock those notes as well by enabling it from here or change the password. All right, that's fantastic. Now, next thing you want to be aware of is your storage. So you might have a 64 gigabyte iPhone model, so you want to be very careful with your storage. So basically, here's my phone. You go to General, and you tap on iPhone storage, and that's going to give you a breakdown of what's happening in your phone. So right here, 14 gigs of my 64 is being used for my smartphone. And if you look down over here, it'll show you what applications are using how much space on your phone. So in case there's something you don't need, such as GarageBand, you can just delete the application from here, and that's going to give you a savings of 1.57 gigabytes, which means more music, more media, if you so desire. Now, one more thing that's really cool is if you go to your settings, all right, and if you go to this main screen, go into accessibility, and then go over to the touch option, and then from here, enable assistive touch. That's going to give you a little menu that you can have on the screen just like this, okay? Now this menu is fully customizable. If I tap on it right now, I have all these options. I can even lock the phone by tapping this button, all right? So let me go right back inside, and it's right here. I can put it anywhere on the screen. It's going to kind of just hang out on the side. If you don't touch it, it becomes a little bit light. If you grab it, it becomes like this. Now again, if I tap on it, it expands. It gives me all these options. I can even bring down the control center from here by tapping that button. So it's a nice remote control. Take a screenshot if you want. And if you click over here to customize top level menu, you can customize this any way that you want. So I can remove buttons, okay? So I can just have it as a screenshot button. So if I press on it, it takes a screenshot right off the bat, all right? I can add extra buttons and assign functions to each of those buttons as I please, as you can see. And if you click reset, it goes back to the way it was, all right? So from here, I can access Siri, as you can see, all right? Let me go back home. From here, I can go into my device, and I can lock the screen, increase the volume, decrease the volume, rotate the screen, tap on more, and do all these crazy things, all right? So you can enable that from assistive touch, under accessibility. Now, one more really cool thing with iOS 13 on iPhones is when you go to your photos and when you click on edit a photo, you now get advanced tools to actually edit that photo. It's a different new interface. So I can actually go in and do a lot of changes to a given photo. I can do auto correction, as you can see. So I tap on the button, it activates the dial. I can, do things like this, as you can see, or I can come over here, change the exposure the way I want it. I can change the brilliance, the highlights, the shadows, the contrast, the brightness. So after taking a picture, I can do so much right on the iPhone, almost to a professional degree. When I'm done, I can just click on done. And you can also rotate photos and do things like this, which is great, okay? So look at that. Crazy stuff happening on the phone. You can add all these filters. You can change it, the intensity and everything right from here. Then you click done, and it's going to save that photo as you just saw. You can do the same thing with videos. So those are some of the tactics and tips I wanted to share with you guys so you can use them on your new smartphone. Stay tuned for even more videos.